Hello, beautiful souls. I wish to share a story with you. Once upon a time, there was a little girl, and she came here with these amazing gifts. She was able to feel people's vibes, hear people's thoughts. She was able to access the Akashic records, and know the essence of the soul, each person's soul's path on it, and soul agreements, and where they came from in the universe, and what blessing they're here in this life to give. All of these things she had as gifts within her. She's an empath and a highly sensitive person. And her parents didn't know what to do with her, so she was often beaten. Her mother, knowing no better, would ask her to go out and tell her to go out to the front garden and grab her switch, choose her switch from the tree, and she would be beaten with it. She would be locked away in her room for 14 hours a night with no food, no water, no use of the loo, until the next day for school. She was unusual. She was feeling things, and she'd even feel her stuffed animals, or she'd feel the wardrobe door because it was made of wood, and her brother would often tease her, slamming the door shut to try to get a rise out of her. She was constantly teased and taunted and ridiculed at school because she had different colored hair than everybody else. So much so that when she was 13, she got so fed up with being so chastised and so teased about her gifts and about her hair that she cut it off and went almost bald. When she was 15, she experienced the first of 12 death experiences where she literally died and came back to this earth. All the while realizing that she wasn't from here. She didn't belong here to this earth. She felt as if she wanted to go home. So she went home to Source at 15. She had a ruptured ovarian cyst and bled to death on the operating table. They brought her back and pretended as if it never happened. And over the course of many years, she would have other subsequent deaths, trying to check out because she didn't want to be here. Later, she met her love of her life, her twin soul, the one who showed her the unconditional love, that pure, true love that no one else in this life had ever. Only for him to be killed by a drunk driver after being together for 8 months. Lonely, she knew not what to do. She hid her gifts. She did readings and sessions and things of that nature, but she hid them because her family and people around her didn't approve of her. So lonely, she ended up hooking up with a man, and she ended up having 4 beautiful children that she loved, the last of which ended up dying within her when she was 5.5 months pregnant and had to give birth to her alone and bury her in her garden alone. This woman spent most of her life alone. The only time that she felt as if she wasn't alone, and the only thing that kept her going through it all, was her connection with Source, her love with Source. She had 11 other deaths in which she died on the operating table and came back, including 2 years ago. She was sexually assaulted by her ex-husband. She was financially abused, emotionally abused throughout her entire life. And 4.5 years ago, she was led to another event which caused her to be in a position to where she was forced to eat toxic food and forced to be in an environment that she had absolutely no control over. People actually controlled her and where she went and where she could go and what she could do. She didn't have a choice other than to surrender to what was in that moment. And then 2 years ago, as a result of eating that toxic food, she ended up having another death because she got to the point where she just felt like, what was the point of living on this earth anymore? I don't resonate with this earth. I don't understand the rules. It's not like where I'm from Source. It's not like where I'm from," she would say over and over again. And so she checked out, only to come back and to find that she was alone. In fact, when they went to release her from hospital, they didn't even want to release her from hospital because she did not have anyone to care for her. They said, "Surely you have family or friends or someone to look after you. We don't want to send you back alone like this." And she sat in a hospital bed and cried after being in hospital for 11 days. And she said, "No, I have no one." They reluctantly took her back to her flat, her wee little flat room inside of a garage that she lived in at the time. And she had to learn how to walk again. She had one person that she knew that was an acquaintance who came round once to help her, but that was it. Everything she had to do on her own. She spent time homeless as well, traveling, moving from one place to another, never really having a home. And when she came back from that death, she thought, "What the F am I doing here?" Sure, I was living my purpose. I was living and helping so many people, she said. But it's nothing compared to the most amazingness of Source. You can take the most amazing day here on this earth, and it doesn't touch what it's like to be back with Source. So she struggled until one day a woman came to her and she said, "You can't leave this earth." She wrote to her a letter and she said, "You don't realize how the videos you do and the things that you post and the messages that you give, how much they've helped me, how you saved my own life." And it was in that moment that after over a half century almost of living on this earth, that she chose life. For she realized that each of her deaths, and even in those moments of feeling that she didn't want to be here on this earth, was so indicative of the wisdom she already knew and had already been living and being and teaching anyhow. Is that she's a starseed, and there's so many starseeds here on this planet now. And last lifers in their last incarnation on this earth. And they know that home is not here on this earth. And do you know who that woman is? That woman is me. I was the one who was abused. I was, as the result of my twin soul's actions, put in that position 4 years ago. I was the one who went through all of those deaths. I was abused. Emotionally, physically, sexually, in every way possible. I was raped when I was 15. This is only a tip of the iceberg of the story of what I have been through on this earth. If anyone has a right to say that I don't want to live for the hell I have been through, it is I. But I choose life. And this is the message that I wish to share with you. It was in choosing life and realizing that each moment that I went through a death, each moment I went through these heinous experiences, it was because my soul kept searching for going back home to Source, when I realized that I needed to be home within and I needed to be present here on this earth, that I chose that ticket to come here to this earth. It was what I chose. What is it, this human condition sometimes? And Lord knows this any better than I do. It's free from pleasing you. And you know what? You don't like it and it sucks, believe me. And yet at the same moment, I had to realize that my vibration was attracting that on some level because of soul agreements that I chose. For one thing, so many people on this planet do not understand that they've chosen these things before they come into any incarnation as part of their soul's path and progression, their soul's blueprint. Not that they've chosen it from a sense of blame, that they chose it because there's a lesson, we call it a life lesson. It's actually a soul remembering to be remembered. And we came here to this earth to experience it all the pain, all the joy, all the bliss, so that we could come into expanding who we really are and expressing who we are as a soul. And so I chose life and choose life. And I shifted into that vibration, and I realized that choosing that vibration of choosing to live, choosing to be in the excitement, choosing to appreciate. I'll tell you, the first thing I had to learn to appreciate after coming out of that death 2.5 years ago was my very breath. The very fact that I had legs that I could learn to walk again. I had a kidney bag for over a month. You know, I had to choose life in each moment, one step at a time, literally. And it sent me on a quest of doing things that I never thought I would do, of experiencing things that I thought I'd never experience, all because I changed my vibration. From choosing to die all the time, choosing to check out, choosing not to be of this earth, knowing that I'm a last lifer and I don't agree with the rules of this earth, and choosing it all instead, knowing that this was why I came here. So the human condition, it sucks. It really does at moments. Yet that's not all of what is. All of what is the vision of what you know that could be. And it's not about sticking your head in the sand and saying, la la la, I'm going to deny what is. No. In those moments, I had to literally be with what is. I can't bloody walk. I've got to learn to walk again. I've got to do all of this by myself because I didn't have anyone to care for me, to cook me meals or anything. I went from having it all, you know, when I was married. I had a £1 million house. I had a £45,000 SUV. I could go and do what I wanted. And I was miserable because I wasn't living my soul. I wasn't fully doing sessions. I was doing them half-assed. I wasn't living my purpose and embodying it fully on this earth. So instead of being stuck in the what is, I could have gotten in the doldrums, and I did. So why am I back here? I don't want to be back here. I was happy with Source. And then I started to vision what could be, what Source's vision was for my life. How I helped that woman, and how I helped many women and men, divine feminine and divine masculine. That's what shifted me around. That's what brings it into reality. Is my life perfect? By no means no, but it's perfect in the imperfections. I am perfection. And it all starts with one word: appreciation. When you choose to live life rather than choosing to die in each moment, you find what you appreciate. In those moments after my death 2.5 years ago, it was appreciating just the fact that I was breathing, just the fact that Source was still with me, and the fact that I was back on this earth. Even though I didn't like it and it sucked, I had to find something that I appreciated with. So I started with my breath. Then it may have been silly, but at that time I had a duvet that was this gorgeous royal purple, and it had these beautiful, beautiful satin on it. And I just chose that to appreciate. And then I chose to appreciate that wee little flat I was in. Then I chose to appreciate that someone gave me a love offering gift enough for me to get an electric scooter so that I could actually get around to go to the shops to get me food when I hadn't the strength yet to walk yet all the way. And I'm still learning to walk. And each moment I kept appreciating. And the reason why I say appreciating instead of gratitude is always wonderful. You say thankful. We have Thanksgiving, you know, in Canada and whatnot. America has it as well. But thankfulness or gratitude is usually after the fact. Oh, I'm really grateful that such and such happened, or I'm really thankful such and such happened. Appreciation's in the moment. And just like a home or other things like a home, what you appreciate grows in value. So each time I appreciated something, even if it was just the fact that my nail was growing, It could be the silliest things. It could be the flowers that I have sitting over there. Something that brings you a smile. Something that you can appreciate. As you build upon that and build upon that and build upon that, it makes life worth living. It makes you want to be present here on this earth. Do I still have me moments where I wish I was back home with Source? Of course. I wouldn't be human if I didn't feel that way. We're both human and spiritual. We are a spiritual being having a human experience, and within having a human experience, we are remembering, embracing, and soulfully treasuring or resting within the spiritual being we are. So it's a full circle. Spiritual and human, both and. We're here to experience both. If not, we could all just go back home to Source. We come here to experience it all. The anger, the hurt, the frustration, the loneliness, to realize that we're never alone, that Source is always with us. Even when humans fail us, as the many times in my life it has happened. I choose life. Are you going to choose life and allow appreciation to inspire you? What can you appreciate in this moment? It makes all the difference. And from that vibration, then those beings who are like-minded, as we say it, it's like-hearted, connected in heart and soul with the same vibration that you are, of appreciation, of love of life, of the soul gifts. You know, I have many people who appreciate my gifts. I do sessions all over the world. Thousands of people message me every day. Why? Because I'm in that vibration first. I appreciate and embrace my gifts. I appreciate and embrace my hair. I grew it back out and I will never cut it. I was the only one who had red hair in school. Everyone else had that. I was the only one of Scottish Canadian descent, Scottish Irish Canadian descent, that had red hair in my entire school. So I was teased and ridiculed because I was different. I was called argumentative because I saw things from a soul perspective instead of the way my mum or my dad wanted me to be. But I rose above all of that. I rose above all the abuse. I healed that within. I became my own mum and my own father within. Grounded and connected in Source. To know that even when humans fail, there's still humans out there that still resonate in that same vibration of the soul. And more of us are awakening. More and more of us starseeds. We don't need to be alone. We always have Source. And there are like-hearted souls. It's a matter of connecting with them and being in that vibration. Appreciation. So what can you appreciate today? What can you feel inspired in Source's vision for your life to be and do? That in and of itself is a reason to live. Can you choose life? Can you appreciate? What can you appreciate now? I appreciate you. Namaste. Espavo. And I love and appreciate you.